Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where it is you're joining from. I'd like to welcome you to our webinar, our July webinar, The Power of Prioritizing Tasks. My name is Josephine Kimai from Vital Solutions Africa. So, even as we think about this topic, have you ever had periods where you've really been busy but could not put your finger to what you had actually done? Yeah. This is why we would like to actually discuss how high performing sales professionals get more done and also stay focused. Now, even as you're looking at this, do you see sometimes that you've really been busy? You've really been busy, but at the end of the day, you're wondering, what have you really done? Now, busy does not always mean productive. Yeah. And what we know is that success is not just about doing everything, because sometimes we can find ourselves doing so many things, yet we are not hitting the mark. Success is actually about doing the right things. So even as we explore this, our objectives in the power of prioritization is really looking at why would we need to prioritize in sales and why is it critical. We'll also explore traps, common time traps that waste your time and your energy. We will also look at some frameworks that we can utilize to help us prioritize our tasks. We'll also be looking at how sales professionals like yourselves could better structure their day. And then we will then explore sales programs that can help you master what we have covered and so much more so that you can actually be successful. So, having looked at that, the question then is, why is prioritization important in sales? Why is it? And this is because sales is about numbers. There is so much that needs to be done. There is so much activity in sales. There are so many emails to send. There are calls that need to be made. You need to do proposals. You need to do sales pitches. You need to follow up. There are meetings. There is so much. And sometimes you find that there's so much urgency, but without prioritization, urgency will beat any strategy that you may have. So then, why prioritizing sales? Sales, remember, sales is about numbers, and not just numbers, but also the quality. Yeah, the quality of the sales that are coming in and the numbers that are coming in. And that is why prioritization in sales is really important. High performers actually focus on things that make impact on the bottom line, impact on quality. So some of the things high performers will find themselves doing are building the pipeline, making sure that they're closing deals, making sure that they're building relationships and also strengthening these relationships, because it is important. It is important for us to be able to do all that. But in the midst of all that, there are so many time wasters. There are so many time wasters. And I'd like you to think about some of the things that you do that end up wasting time, even as you're seeking to hit the mark, to hit the targets. What are some of those things that waste your time? And we see here we have some common time traps, or what time wasters, or what we would call time traps. Sometimes just agreeing to everything, just saying yes to everything that is there can end up actually wasting a lot of time. Does that sound familiar? Sometimes just reacting. Instead of being proactive, we find ourselves reacting to everything that is coming, every email, spending time on it. And I'm not saying we shouldn't respond to email, but it should be that we're being more proactive and not just being reactive. Sometimes we may find ourselves so busy and we're spending time really doing work that is keeping us busy without asking ourselves, what is the return on investment of this time that I'm putting into the particular task? Sometimes we end up doing so many things or more than one thing at a time and not getting the results that are required. And then failing to plan. Facing the day, coming into a day without having a plan, then you end up just doing exactly what hits you, what comes at you is what you end up doing. Now, you'll find that if this is what you're doing, then you will find that you do not have enough time to do some of the things that are really important and really need to be done. And we are seeing there, these time traps can actually be very, very costly. Therefore, if we do not prioritize, there are actually going to be consequences. So we need to be aware of that. We need to be aware of the consequences of not prioritizing. And I'd like you to think about it because I'm sure you've been there and you've seen some of this. But some of the consequences could be that you're not able to meet your targets, and sometimes maybe not be able to meet them on time. You yourself may be running down on your energy. You may be feeling really burnt out. You may be stressed. The people that you're engaging with, the customers that you're engaging with, would not get the best of you. So it would affect the kind of experiences the people that you're working with or expecting to sell to will have. And therefore, we see that it's important that we think through and actually seek to prioritize, because if we don't, we will continue to play catch up. And this is not just in sales. If we don't prioritize, even in just normal work, we will always be playing catch up. If we do not prioritize in sales, we will be catching up. So it is now July. And July is going to an end. You've not caught up. You've not managed to do what you needed to do in July. So you find in August, you're catching up with the previous period, and you end up the year in the same way. So we can see there that prioritization or the lack of it has consequences. And therefore, it's important then we think about prioritization. Now, let's explore some frameworks that would actually help us and that we could use to help us just rank our tasks so that we can make the most and the best out of what it is we need to do so that we can get in the numbers. Now, one framework that I'd like us to explore is the Eisenhower matrix. And this then looks at tasks and it breaks down the tasks differently. So it looks at tasks against, are the tasks urgent? Do they need to be done urgently? Or are the tasks important? Are they really important to either your bottom line or to the numbers that you need to make? Now, this is what this particular matrix teaches us, that if something is important, urgent, and important, then you need to do it now. Yeah, and there are tasks that really are both urgent and important. They need to be done now. Then we have some tasks that are not urgent, but they are important. Like, for example, building a pipeline. It may not need to be done now, but it is very important. So we need to make sure that we are scheduling it. Then we have tasks that are urgent, but they're not important. You may have somebody else who could do that task. It might not necessarily need to be done by you. So then you delegate it. Then there are tasks that are not urgent and they're also not important. Now, these are the tasks that we then need to get rid of. So there you see the Eisenhower matrix, urgent versus important. What is urgent and important? Leave everything else, do it now. What is urgent but is not important, it does need to get done. So you need to make sure you schedule it. Why schedule it? Because if you don't schedule it, you will find that when you were supposed to have done it, you didn't do it. And with time, it ends up becoming both urgent and important. So schedule it and make sure that you actually get to do it. Then we have tasks that are urgent, but not important. They really need to be done quickly, but they're not important. Therefore, you need to consider how to handle this. You delegate it. If you do not have someone that you can delegate to, then you probably need to do it after you have considered and done the other tasks. And it's not really taking some key prime time from you. Then again, tasks that are not urgent, not important, just get rid of them. Okay, so that is one framework that would help us to then just be able to prioritize better. Let's consider a second one, and this is the ABCDE method. And this is where A is a must do. Look at all the tasks that you have in a day and ask yourself, what must I do? And if I don't do it, there will be serious consequences. That is a task that you would need to do. Then the next task is a B task, which is a should do task. This does have consequences, but the consequences are not as serious as an A task. So you do your A task first, then go to the should do B tasks. Then there is the C task. This is a nice to do. It's a really nice thing to do, doesn't have any consequences. Okay, so you start with your A task, a must do, move on to your should do, then you have time to do a nice to do, and then there are D tasks. D tasks, delegate them. And then we have E tasks, which really can be eliminated. So this is the A, B, C, D, E method. And the reminder, never do a B task if there is an A task on your list. So this then requires that you would actually list all your tasks and then rank them. Is it an A task? Is it a B task, C task, D task, or an E task? And then handle them accordingly. Okay? Then we have another framework, a really interesting one, where you're going to be asking yourself a question. And this one is the 1,000-hour rule. This is where you're asking yourself, if I were paid $1,000 per hour, would I still do this task? Yeah, would I actually be doing this task right now? Whatever task it is, ask yourself, if I was actually being paid $1,000 per hour, yeah, would I be doing this? And that would then help you rank your tasks. If the answer is no, then that tells you that that task is likely a very low value task. It doesn't have any leverage, or it could be delegated, could be delayed, or even dropped. Okay, so we've looked at 3 frameworks that would help you prioritize. Look at what you feel would work for you and then use it so that you can actually make the most of your time. Remember, time is a resource that you can never get back. Once it is gone, it is gone. And all of us have the same resource. All of us have 24 hours in a day. So it's up to us to how we use that particular resource that we have. So remember, ask yourself, is this really of value? What I'm doing right now, is it of value? So here we see an example of tasks and us asking ourselves the question and then how we could deal with it. So for example, you had a cold email to write for a potential or a possible client, and you're asking yourself, should I, if I was really being paid $1,000 per hour, should I do this? Yeah, probably not. Try and see if you could delegate it or use a template, because there are templates out there that you could use to actually send this cold email for you. Manually entering data into the CRM. Should you be doing that? Really think about it. Weigh, is it worth it? If you were being paid $1,000 per hour, automate it or assign it to somebody else. And if you don't have somebody to assign it to, and at that point you're not in a position to automate, then look at that time where really you will not be using your prime time. Preparing for a client demo, that is key. Do it. Because if you do it, it will help you bring the money in. Following up on warm leads is important. You do need to do it. So then you need to prioritize it. It is good use of your time. You have a client that is already there, upselling to that particular client. Yes, it is worth your time and and the money. It will help you grow the business. It is high value, so it's something that you should do. Designing a team event poster, it does need to be done, but not necessarily by you. Somebody else could do it. Yeah, looking at an internal meeting, attending an internal meeting that doesn't really have a clear agenda, you may need to let somebody else attend it on your behalf, or reschedule it if you're in a position to. So that is an example of how we would put in place the 1,000-hour rule. Okay, so let's practice a little. So here we have a scenario. I'd like to just see how would you prioritize that particular day. You have 80 unread emails. You have a client meeting at 11 a.m. You have a proposal that is due by end of business that day. And there's an internal call at 10 a.m. How would you prioritize that? And I'd like to see the examples. Hey. Right. So let's see. Let's continue working on how we can continue to prioritize. And here we have a scenario, and this is the scenario. This is Jane. Jane is a sales manager, and she comes in on Monday morning, and this is her task list. She has a high stakes client pitch at 2 p.m. She has a review. She needs to do a review and send her weekly sales report to her senior leadership team at 12. It's due at 12. At 10 a.m., she needs to attend a meeting, a recurring team meeting. There's no set agenda for that particular meeting. By the end of the day, she needs to submit a travel request for next month. She's going out of town on a trip. And then she needs to clear her inbox. She has more than 50 emails in her inbox. And then she also needs to find time to scroll on LinkedIn and also respond to WhatsApp, their group WhatsApp. So that is her day. Yeah, what do you think of that? Now, Jane decides to sit, looking at her task, decides to prioritize. And this is what Jane comes up with. She starts doing emails. Remember, she had 50 plus emails, and she decides to spend 1.5 hours going through all those emails and responding to them. Then she decides to attend the meeting that she had on her task list, and the meeting takes an hour. Then she takes some time to put together her travel request and then submits it. Then she goes on chat and then scrolls LinkedIn during her breaks. She plans to do that during her breaks. And then at 1:30 p.m., she rushes to go and prepare for her 2 p.m. Pitch. Now, sadly, as a result of a very hurried job, she loses the client and misses sending her sales report on time. So think about it. This is Jane's approach. Yeah, what do you think about it? Now, luckily, Jane attended this prioritization webinar, and let's look at what she chose to do subsequently. She reordered her list and scheduled certain tasks. So she decided between 8:30, she gets into work at 8. So between 8:30 and 8:45, she would go through her emails and respond to the urgent ones. Then from 9 to 11 a.m., she will finalize on her sales report and then also prepare for the sales pitch that she will have later in the day. Then between 11 and 11:15, she gives a colleague feedback on a proposal that the colleague had been preparing. Then between 12 and 12:30, she takes time to actually scroll through LinkedIn, see if she can get some leads on LinkedIn, and then sends them direct messages, and then also responds to their group WhatsApp on whatever queries she will find there. Then between 2 and 3, she attends the high stakes client pitch and pitches to the client. Then between 3:45 and 4:15, she chooses that time to respond, go back to look at the emails, and then respond to the ones that were not urgent or any other new incoming mails. Now, if you look at Jane's day and her schedule, you'll notice that there are some pockets of time. So in case there are certain things that need to be done, she still actually has time to do some of those. Jane makes a choice. As she was prioritizing her list, she actually makes a choice to skip the 11 a.m. meeting. She looks at her travel form and realizes one of her colleagues could actually handle that for her, so she chose to delegate it. Now, what happens, the result of her planning her day like this is that she actually enters her sales pitch very confident. She's very calm, she's well prepared, and she is very confident. And the result of that is she actually wins the client over and is able to make the sale. Then she's able to do her report and submit it, and everybody on the team gets clear feedback. As a result, she manages to end her day well and actually feeling very fulfilled. So you can see there the results of prioritizing her day and her tasks. Okay, and making choices on what to do with her time, knowing that her time is precious. Yeah, and then remember, she still has some pockets of time. So even if there are little spillovers, she is still able to manage the same. Now, remember, prioritization means doing what matters first, not what feels urgent or easy. Many times we do tasks, we sit. If we haven't planned our day, we haven't prioritized, we will sit and we may start doing what is urgent because it is coming at us, or maybe what is easy because it is easy to finish it and put it out of the way. But prioritization actually requires that we look at the things that matter and get to do those particular things first. So what do successful salespeople do? Yeah, they act differently. They block out time to do the deep work, the work that really matters. They make sure that they actually block it out. They also use the first hour, and they're really fresh for revenue tasks. They plan for tomorrow today. And we would even go and say, you even can plan you can go before. So you can even plan last week for this week. But then remember, when we get into the week, make sure that you have clear visibility of what you're looking at doing tomorrow. They also know their top 3 outcomes each day. They start the day knowing these are the 3 things I need to make sure I do today to make it successful. Okay, so this is how high performers prioritize differently. So having looked at that, what are the must-dos of prioritization? Because there's certain things we must do. Yeah, we need to make it a habit. We don't prioritize once and that is it. It has to be something that we're always doing. So remember, review weekly. Yeah, review weekly goals. Some people do it on Monday. Some people do it over the weekend. Some people do it the week before on a Friday. But review weekly, the day that suits you. Then plan the next day. So after you have reviewed weekly, go back before like if it is today, at this evening, just look at what your next day is going to look like and make sure you plan it well. Okay? Then use a tool to help you plan. Yeah, there are so many tools out there. Use a visual tool that you can look at to then help you plan. And then it's important for you to actually track what is working and what is not. I'll give you an example. When I started prioritizing and planning and scheduling, one of the mistakes I made was to fill my day full. I scheduled to the minute. I was finishing one task and jumping into the other task. And I actually found out it was not working for me. So I had to go back and realize I need to look at my key tasks, my most important things, and I would put them in my schedule first. I would put in the slightly lesser tasks in, but then I would always leave room with time that has not been filled in. That allowed me, in case something urgent came in, I was able to do it and still come back to my schedule. Yeah, that allowed me some regal room. So in case one task was spilling over, it would not affect everything. That was something that was not working for me, and I was able to adjust to something that was working. So I'd like you to also track so that you can actually see what is it that is working for you and what is not. It may even be that certain tasks for you don't sit well at certain hours. You know what you do, you know your schedule. So track and then make sure that at the end of it all, your prioritization is working and the way you're scheduling it is working for you. Okay. So let's break it down and see what it looks like in sales. Yeah. Top priorities in sales. Finding leads is key. That's something that you need to make sure you are working with and working on. Calling qualified prospects. Qualify the prospects first. So find the leads, then qualify the leads. After you've qualified the leads, then you can call them. Yeah, make sure that you're having proposals that are customized to every client individually. Then ask for referrals. Those who come you have worked with, ask for referrals. These are high priority tasks. Yeah, so you need to spend time and schedule these particular tasks plus others that you may have, but remember to look at a task and determine the value of that task. Some low priority tasks, sometimes there's a lot of admin overload, and sometimes they may be analyzing, and analyzing is good, but when we are spending too much time analyzing, then that may be a problem. Not may, it is a problem because it's a waste of time. Okay, so we do need to analyze, but not overanalyze. So, having gone through what we have gone through, how do you apply this immediately? I have some reflection questions for you that I'd like you to think about, ponder, ask yourself the questions, make a note of the answers so that you can then start working differently. So, what is that one high impact task that you realize now that you're currently neglecting? And I'd like you to put that down. Okay. Then the other question is, what is that one low value task that you can actually cut out this week? Think through this. Note the questions, and you can continue asking yourself this so that you actually get to making the most and the best of your day. Now, when we prioritize correctly, we get to address both productivity and performance. Yeah. Prioritizing actually helps us to have higher close rates, stronger customer relationships. We ourselves are able to have greater confidence and less stress. It actually becomes enjoyable and fun while we do it. So even as we're looking at productivity and performance, because it's not just about productivity, it is also performance. Now, productivity will measure the efficiency of the tasks and the completion of the same, but performance actually looks at a whole picture of the quality of what it is you're doing and the effectiveness of the tasks. So as you're looking at that, yeah, when you're looking at productivity, really looking what is the amount of work that is being accomplished within a specific time. Yeah, this is really something that we look at in terms of output. Yeah. And then when we look at performance, it is going to go broad. It's going to go much, much more broader. It will include the quality. So if you are bringing in numbers, but what is the quality of the sales that you're bringing in? Are they the quality that the organization is looking for? Yeah. So here in performance, we're looking at not just how much work is done, but how well is it being done and how is it meeting expected standards so that it can all work together to contribute to the goals of the organization. So I'd like you to think about this too, so that you look at prioritization as a means of becoming not only more productive, but also having a very good level of performance. Okay? Because high productivity will lead to increased profits and efficiency. And then when the performance is right, it'll make sure that the work itself is actually meeting expectations and even exceeding the expectations. This way, your customers will be happy, and this then allows you to get more business. So it's important for us to think about a prioritization as a means to helping us become more productive, but also making sure that our customers are also happy doing business with us and they are satisfied, allowing us to then meet the expectations of the customer to allow the customer to continue with us. Now, it's Stephen Covey who says, the key is not to prioritize what is on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Yeah. He says, schedule the big rocks. So look at what your priorities are. Make sure that you schedule them. And we at Vital Solutions Africa can help. Yeah. We can help you take this further, because we have sales programs that can actually help you master your own time, really look and explore your own mindset, and then help you engage in a shift if there is a need to do so. The programs will also help you be able to sell with clarity and with confidence. We will have tools. We do have tools that will help you and frameworks that will help you be able to drive results, be able to look at the tasks that are really important that will then help you to drive your results so that you can build consistent and predictable performance. And the programs that we have are four. We have partnered with the Sales Management Institute to bring you certification in the area of sales. And these are designed to equip you to become professionals and also have strategies that would help you then be successful. And we have the four programs. If I can go a little bit deeper. Our first program is the Sales Foundation Professional, which just really gives you the basics in sales. Then we have a certified lead generation specialist, where you really get to go in depth into how are you getting the leads, how are you qualifying the leads, how are you progressing them within the pipeline. Then we have the certified sales management professional, where you're really working on becoming a professional in sales. So if you're looking to move up, this is a key certification to have. It will give you the competencies that are required, the skills and the competencies that you need to actually be able to manage sales and manage sales well and professionally. And then we have the Sales Master Certified Professional, where here you are a master and you can then engage in sales. And it has quite a lot in it. All these programs are then given to you by an authorized sales trainer. I am one of them who is authorized to be able to deliver these sessions. And in case you are interested, please reach out to us, because we do have individual and group training options that are available. We also have tailored programs that we can give to an organization. And then we also are able to do open courses. We also have customized courses. And if you are interested, I'd like you to just look at the details, and then you can schedule a call or a consultation call, where we can then give you a few more details. You can write to us at info@vitalsolutionsafrica.co.ke. We have Brenda, vitalsolutionsafrica.co.ke. We also have our numbers there, where you could give us a call and schedule a consultation call, where we can then listen to you, get to understand your needs, and then see how best we can work with you to make your endeavors a success. This brings us to the end of our webinar today, and we do look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.